The Chiefs made the very bold move of trading Tyreek Hill, and they've only won every Super Bowl played since then. Last year, it was a collection of pass catchers. Now, Travis Kelce, key piece, but the receivers, not quite at the level that Patrick Mahomes has been accustomed to. There's optimism in Kansas City that this year they'll get back to being more potent at the receiver position than they've been post Tyreek Hill. Here's Travis Kelce about the current collection of pass catchers on the Kansas City roster.
I've loved the receiver group that we've always had. Obviously, we got hit with kind of a stereotype that we couldn't catch the ball on big downs and things like that. But this year, I think in terms of confidence and where we're different from years past, it seems like the group is more tight-knit. You know, everybody's playing off of each other a little bit more. There's more of a discussion in the room. And I'm just excited that the type of athletes that we got and the type of quarterback that we have, that we can put it all together.
I thought as he was saying that we got hit with the stereotype that we couldn't catch the ball in big moments, that we got rid of all those guys. They don't work here anymore. Kadarius Toney's gone. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is gone. The guys that can't catch the ball are gone now. We have guys that can catch the ball. It's a fairly simple requirement of the job. Can you catch the ball? But what they also have is speed. Rashee Rice, one of the reasons they support him as fervently as they do, despite the 8 felony charges for street racing, he came in, figured out the offense faster than Tyreek Hill did when he was a rookie, and had nearly 1,000 yards and got better as the postseason unfolded. They've added Xavier Worthy. Hollywood Brown at some point is going to be healthy after having that scary injury that had him hospitalized after one of the preseason games. So they've got speed in more than one receiver position. They got 3 guys who, if they're out there together, can take everyone deep and then keep the entire underneath wide open for Travis Kelce to do more of what he does. I mean, it's going to be a different passing game if those guys are healthy and on the field together than what we've seen from the Chiefs the past 2 years.
Well, it is, but and you mentioned the speed guys, but I think bringing back Juju Smith-Schuster, as long as he is healthy, is something that is going to be able to help the Chiefs as well, because he understands what Patrick Mahomes wants out of, the improvisational scat drill, scramble drill, all kinds of things like that. He was extraordinarily productive for them, I thought, in that 2022 season when they were able to win the Super Bowl over the Philadelphia Eagles. And so having him back and not just being able to say, okay, yeah, they've got the speed elements, they're going to be able to fire it deep, and not just say, okay, well, on the underneath routes, well, you still got to look for Travis Kelce. No, you got to look for Juju Smith-Schuster as well. And that, I think, is going to be one of these elements that is going to be able to help take the Chiefs back to the kind of top 5, top 3 offense that we're used to seeing when they have Patrick Mahomes behind center. I mean, because last year just wasn't that. And you're right. I mean, they got rid of guys like Kadarius Toney. They got rid of Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who, God love him. He did have that 3rd down catch
in the postseason
at the end of the game.
He had 2 big catches,
Ravens, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he
had a big catch against the Bills too. Yeah.
Yes, he sure did. Who he now plays for. So I think that the speed element, that's going to be there, especially when Hollywood Brown comes back. But then also the possession element, and it's not just going to be Travis Kelce. I think that kind of Smith-Schuster being back, I think, is really huge. I do, and it's going to take some pressure off of Kelce a little bit in that way. And I think it overall is going to probably make them that much more explosive.
He had a solid year for them in 2022. I'm looking at the numbers now. 78 catches on 101 targets, 933 yards, average 12 per reception, and 3 total touchdowns. And this has to be, I look at it and I think, this has to be a misprint. I'm looking at Pro Football Reference. He has a long reception, according to this, of 97 yards in both 2017 and 2018. Not exactly a speed guy, even when he was young and, had his full tread on the tires. 97 yards each of those 2 years. If I remembered that, I've forgotten. If I ever knew it, let me try that again. If I ever knew that, I'd forgotten. But he's now a guy who's essentially a tight end, given the lack of explosion that the Patriots saw, whether it was because of his knee injury. The Patriots decided to move on, and they owe him a significant amount of money this year. The Chiefs presumably paying him close to the minimum because the Patriots have to pay the rest. But you're right. If you've got these fast guys stretching the field, you have not only Travis Kelce, but also Juju Smith-Schuster underneath who can take advantage of the openings.
Yeah, exactly. And that, I think, whether if you're playing zone coverage against Mahomes, which, we know that the two high safeties is what a lot of teams have played in order to make sure that those explosive passes aren't necessarily happening. But they also haven't had guys that can really take the top off the defense anyway. I mean, how many teams do you think play two high safeties against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and yet every game it seems like Kevin Harlan is saying he's got Hill because it's just Tyreek Hill can run past those guys. So if they can have Xavier Worthy do that, and he runs that 4.21 40, which we all know about, then that's going to sort of negate that advantage that defenses can have when you have that guy who's just flying by them anyway. So that's going to be interesting. I really am looking forward to seeing that first bomb attempt that we get from Mahomes to Xavier Worthy and how that thing turns out. Because, man, oh, man, if they can get that kind of connection with the deep balls, the Chiefs are going to be fun to watch this year, baby. They really are.
Gary points out Juju Smith-Schuster is only 27 years old. It does seem like he's been around forever. And that at a minimum, he's on the wrong side of 30. But it feels like he's been in the NFL for years and years and years. One of the realities of Tyreek Hill when he was with the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes would maybe hold the ball a little too long, infatuated with making the deep throw to Tyreek Hill. And once he was gone, they were able to just run the offense. But they didn't have enough of the deep ball. The offense still works. If there's a sweet spot there that maybe they can find where you're not overdoing it, you're not addicted to dropping back and running around and waiting for the opportunity to hit one of your guys deep, but you're doing it selectively, surgically, and strategically, and it's the perfect blend. You dial them up at the right time. I remember back the year that the Vikings had Randy Moss, Chris Carter, and Jake Reed. It felt like every time they threw it deep, it was deliberate and calculated and strategic. It wasn't just, I'm going to make something happen and I just have to get the ball to Randy Moss because I know he's going to be open down there. It was always, this is the moment for it, go do it. Whether it was flea flicker, play action, whatever, get around the 50, this is the moment, go do it. I feel like now the Chiefs are in a position where they can have that attitude instead of, hey, Patrick, just go make things happen. This is the moment to throw it deep, go do it.
Right, and I think the other aspect of that is the maturity with Patrick Mahomes. I don't mean that in a pejorative way. I just mean, gathering more experience, right? The fact that he is older and he has seen more than he did when the Chiefs got rid of Tyreek Hill, I think is going to make him that much better of a quarterback because he has a better understanding of, okay, this is why things are the way they are in the structure, right? This is why things work against certain coverages. Oh, I've seen this. I remember when this happened before and I was able to make this throw. But if they're playing this the same way, that means that throw is going to be open. So all of those things I think can combine and A, make Patrick Mahomes a better quarterback, but B, because the personnel is better, it's going to make the Chiefs a better offense. And again, when you got Andy Reid scheming things up, Matt Nagy obviously is a big part of that too. This is going to be an offense that should hum because the personnel, again, is that much better.
Last year there was talk about Patrick Mahomes having a very strong desire to get to the point where Tom Brady was later in his career, where you'll walk up to the line and nothing fools you, nothing tricks you, nothing phases you. And I haven't heard any of that this year. And that means one of two things. Well, three, really. One, I just completely missed it, which is possible, but not likely. Two, he still feels that way, but he's not talking about it anymore. Or three, he's gotten to where he wants to be. And that's a scary thought if he's already there after 6 years as a starter, where he feels that level of confidence that he knows what's coming. Because I remember when Tom Brady said that, he was actually on this show after they won Super Bowl 51 saying that, I think it was to me, maybe it was to Peter King, but the idea that there's nothing you can fool me with anymore. I walk up to the line of scrimmage and I've seen it all. Probably didn't say it on this show, but, it makes me feel better if I think he did. But the idea that I have seen anything and everything that you can put out there. And that's what happens. And that's where you get into this combination of I still can play like I've always played, and my brain is a football supercomputer that cannot be hacked, that cannot be frozen, that can't be beaten. That's when you only get better. And to consider what he's accomplished this far, when he gets to that point, if he's already there or if it's coming, because we know it's coming at some point.
Right.
If he still can run and throw like he has, that makes it even more likely I'll be sitting here on plenty of Wednesdays and Thursdays of Labor Day week.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, that's the thing that makes Patrick Mahomes so special, too, is that I don't think he's going to stop working. Even if he feels like he's seen everything, he's going to still want to watch the tape and say, wait a minute, what else can I learn? I think we got that impression, at least, from that quarterback show that they did last year, where we see behind the scenes of him working on his body and, contorting his body in such a way that, when it happens in a game, it's familiar to the body so that your strength is still there and you can hopefully avoid injury in that way. I think what he's done so far in his career certainly is remarkable, but there is still space for him to get better. And, Andy Reid has talked about it. That's one of the things that makes Mahomes so great, is that he always wants the challenge of getting better. It challenges you as a coach in order to make sure you can give him something that can make him better. So, when you've got guys like that who chase the greatness and chase the work that produces greatness, that's why you get to the level where he's at this point in his career.
Okay, you have a chance to win $1 million in the NBC sweepstakes on Yahoo Fantasy. Just download the redesigned Yahoo Fantasy app or go to NBCSports.com/fantasymillion for additional details. What are you waiting for?
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.